I just really wish that everybody would wake up to that fact that not all politicians are there to, in fact, make America great. They're there for their own selves, for their own enrichment and for their own reasons. And Donald Trump, number one, he absolutely is not in office for you. He is in office for himself and for his family. And it's mind-numbing that people don't see that, because this is the truth. I just don't understand how people don't see that. He can't care about other people because he's a sociopath. He just is. How do you guys not see that? How do you not see that he doesn't care about people? He only cares about himself. You guys, he called testing of COVID a catch-22 or a two-edged sword. How is COVID testing for the American people a two-edged sword? Absolutely not. He called it a two-edged sword because it makes him look bad when more cases come up due to testing. So if he can openly say it's a two-edged sword, well, no, it's not. Not for the rest of us, it's not. It can only help us. Hello, 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 beautiful divine people. Welcome back to another edition of Get Woke Wednesdays. If you're a returning divine, thank you guys so much for stopping by to watch this today. And if you're new to this channel, hello, how are you? And welcome. Hola, ¿cómo están? Y bienvenidos. Do not forget to hit the like button, comment below what your thoughts are. You'll see what I mean. And then share this video and subscribe to my channel. On Wednesdays, I do Get Woke Wednesdays. Fridays, I do Get Fierce Fridays. One is for the inner, one is for the outer, and yeah, that's it. Let's go. I just don't know. I don't know if this is going to be a rant today or if I'm going to try to, get statistics and gather evidence and proof or whatnot. I don't know. All I know is I just need to talk about this. I need to get it off my shoulder because it is just so interesting and crazy and profound to me how people think and how to this day people really believe. It's mind-numbing to me. And so, yeah, I just wanted to talk about it. So, of course, what I'm talking about is just, everything that's going on. Black Lives Matter, George Floyd, Breonna Taylor, all of these people who have come out and, some of them we didn't even know about, but now all of these things are actually coming out into the open and into the public. And it is just like mind-numbing to me how some people think to this day and how they still believe. And so, yeah, I just wanted to talk about that. Like, for instance, for the last, I think 2-3 weeks, this is probably my third or fourth week. I think that this is going to be my third week actually focusing on what is going on in the world for my Get Woke Wednesdays. In the past, if you go to my past videos, you will see like personal development and like self-help and like motivational, that type of motivational video for Get Woke Wednesdays. However, given the situation, given what everything is going on and has been going on, I kind of, turned it around and started focusing on that. Because it's important. It's a huge deal. It's a huge moment in history. And so that's why I wanted to absolutely focus on it. So one of the things I did is I went down to in Seattle, the CHOP. And so I just wanted to go there and really go inside of CHOP and see what was going on. Because, let Fox News tell it and whomever else, let them tell it, it's some sort of rioting zone and 24/7. You've got to be careful for your life because people are, having guns and it's just like a thug fair. That's what people are acting like it is. And so I wanted to go see it firsthand. That's what I did. I went and I saw it firsthand and I spoke on my experience of it that day, going there that day and seeing it firsthand. It's just so profound to me that people will always have something to say. You got to go there in the nighttime because the daytime is not going to, show you what's really going on. I don't know. You guys can go see the comments. It's again, mind-numbing to me, the types of things that people are saying. But so anyways, so there's that. And then, I responded to Candace Owens and her despicable rant. about the George Floyd killing and her despicable rant, not only about George Floyd, but just about the Black community in general. So now today, what I want to do, guys, is I've been going to Twitter a lot, my Twitter account, and reading things and responding to things. One common theme that I continue seeing, on Twitter for people's responses and the things that they're saying is so much of it is misinformation. So much of it is wrong, flat out. It is wrong. It's false. It's not true. So many of these people, they base their beliefs on these lies. And that's what's so mind-numbing to me too. Because when people are consistently getting their news from one source, it doesn't even have, let's not even say Fox, because I was going to say that, but just one source, because all of the news outlets these days, they lean towards whatever their political affiliation or political beliefs are. It is just a fact. Fox, Murdoch, he's the one who started it, and he absolutely is a conservative and a GOP conservative. And so his news station leans to that. MSNBC, CNN, they do not lean to the right, they lean to the left. And so anybody who is getting their news source from one source is bound to be fed some misinformation. And I think that is something that we need to wake up to. In this day and age, in 2020, it is not okay to get your information from one news source and then act like it is biblical in your argument and in your stance, in your disposition. I don't even understand how that works, or how anybody can feel so secure in doing that. If you watched Fox when Obama was president, and you have been watching Fox since Trump became president, and if you cannot admit their bias and hatred of Obama, and then the exact opposite of Trump, how much they really are biased on behalf of Trump or to benefit Trump, and they just love Trump because Trump is doing the things that they love him doing. If you can't admit that, then stop tweeting. Then stop giving your opinion out. Really? I mean, of course you can. Everybody's entitled to their opinion, but stop thinking that you're right, because you're not. If you cannot admit that the things that Fox News said about Obama, his tan suit, the fact that he wanted Grey Poupon on his hamburger, just ridiculous ass things. The fact that he had a military personnel holding an umbrella for him in the middle of the speech when it was in fact raining. Fox News spent an entire day or more on each of these incidents, and they were pissed. They were heated over it. They don't do the same. They're not equally, or more heated from the type of crap that Trump does. If you can't admit that, then you are biased. That's what you need to know. That's what you need to admit. If you can't see the complete and utter difference, it is the juxtaposition. It is night and day how they treated Obama versus how they treat Trump. It is just disgusting that people still believe Fox and listen to Fox when they were so biased against Obama for the stupidest things. That is why we say that Obama has a scandal-free presidency, because they didn't have anything that was actually anything of substance to say about him. So they had to take these ridiculous notions and act like he was doing something wrong because he took a selfie with a selfie stick in the Oval Office, because he didn't wear a suit and tie in the Oval Office, and then Fox tries to say that he's the only one, the only black president who's never worn a suit and tie in the Oval Office, when it was so untrue. It was just false. Like everything they said about Obama, especially when it came to those stupid things, they were false. And it's like, why do you think that anybody who supports Obama, why do you think that we would go to Fox News and listen to Fox News and believe Fox News when they treated Obama so wrong, so biased? And look, you guys, not one time did President Obama go have a Twitter tantrum because Fox wasn't treating him correctly. How do you guys not see? How do you not see that vast difference? Like, Trump has no class. He has no class. He has no character. And you guys know it too. So that's another thing that's mind numbing. It's like, you guys know. I hear it so many times. we know that Trump isn't the best person, but he speaks his mind. He says what's on his mind, right? But racism is on his mind. How is that okay? Anyway, so back to Twitter. So what I've been doing is, just kind of randomly responding, and I don't know, if you do Twitter, you probably know what I'm talking about. You just go on Twitter, you see what is trending and things like that. I don't know. There is just a couple of exchanges that I want to go over with you guys, and yeah. Okay, so the first exchange is it had to do with one of AOC's tweets, and the tweet that I'm referring to was a tweet whereby she it was about Trump's rally, his failed rally in Tulsa. And, she said something like Brad Parscale, the one that said that over 1 million tickets have been bought for his Tulsa rally. So anyway, he tweeted, radical protesters, and you guys, I'll probably put this on the screen for you, but it says, radical protesters fueled by a week of apocalyptic media coverage interfered with Trump's supporters at the rally. They even blocked access to the metal detectors, preventing people from entering, thanks to the thousands who made it anyway. So AOC retweeted it, and she wrote, actually, you just got rocked by teens on TikTok who flooded the Trump campaign with fake ticket reservations and tricked you into believing 1 million people wanted your white supremacist open mic, enough to pack an arena during COVID. Shout out to the Zoomers, y'all make me so proud. So that set people off. You talk about snowflakes being triggered. The right was triggered. So, they just kept on going down the line saying all this stuff about AOC. And so one of them says, a U.S. Democratic Congresswoman openly admitting she solicited and encouraged influencers to disrupt a presidential campaign on a global social media platform. It doesn't get any easier for the FBI. She is in a position of authority that will probably be held accountable. So, of course, I wrote, I just saw it in passing, and so I just decided to respond. And so I just said, again, I'm going to put it up on the screen for you guys, but I said, if the man-child hasn't been held accountable for election interference, I highly doubt AOC has anything to worry about. So, it got a little bit of traction, and so many comments flooded. That's what I'm more interested in, not necessarily the likes, but all of the comments that flooded in because of this tweet, because of my response tweet. And it's just so interesting for me to see these responses, because there's so many things that are just verifiably untrue. And so, for instance, somebody responded to me, because there wasn't, keep up. And he's referring to the fact that I said that if 45 has not been held accountable for election interference, then AOC doesn't have anything to worry about. And so this guy was saying, well, because there wasn't election interference, keep up. And so, and I wrote, well, he was impeached for it, so you try to keep up. You mean acquitted? No, I said what I meant, which is correct, impeached. Followed by an acquittal, meaning cleared of both impeachment charges. See, we can both play this game. No, not cleared. The stain of impeachment will forever be associated with his failed presidency. But yes, to your point, as was my point from the onset of these tweets, he was never fully held accountable, so AOC will be just fine. Other people came in, and they really truly believe that Trump wasn't impeached. So I think what they believe is, in order for a president to be impeached, he has to be removed from office. That's not how this works. That's not how it is. Clinton, don't you guys remember President Bill Clinton was impeached? Did he get removed from office? No, but you know him as an impeached president, don't you? It's so weird because Republicans, it just seems that it's so hard for you guys to admit any sort of fault, any sort of wrongdoing when it comes to the candidates. It is just, again, mind-numbing to me. Here's another concept that I'm so sick and tired of hearing of. There is a tweet that it was a recording of Biden from many years ago, and I believe it was him fighting to maintain the Confederate flag. He wanted to keep it. That was his thoughts. So again, like I said, it was like 30 years ago. And so I wrote on that tweet, because that's what they're trying to say, that, why are you calling Trump racist and this, that, and the other when Biden was trying to keep the Confederate flag going. And so, so I just responded. I said, how far down the sins of past rabbit hole did you have to go to find this? Black people are not ignorant to Biden's past. Rather, we realize that it was his past. He has since changed his views. This was many years ago. People can change, not 45, but typically people can change. There's a couple of reasons why I said not 45 either, because Trump is very old. It's just common knowledge, right? That the older we get, the more set in our ways we are. And so I see the same type of connections between Trump when he was sued by the Justice Department many years ago to today. Like, he's got that same train of thought. He is an obvious racist to me, okay? And many other people too. Trump is a racist. Like, there's no doubt in my mind that he is a racist. So that's what I'm talking about, the next thing. So somebody said, so with that idiotic mindset, why rip down statues? That was the past, idiot, LOL. So like I said, people can change, and I don't see Vice President Biden, soon to be called President Biden, I don't see Vice President Biden making these outward, latent, racist comments or doing things that would suggest, having actions or an attitude that would suggest that he is racist. Before you guys bring it up, I'm gonna stop you right there. Yes, he said, you ain't black if you don't vote for me, or if you vote for Trump, you ain't black. Yes, he said it. It was a ridiculous thing for him to say. I agree. I admit it. I don't even know why he would say something like that. It's ridiculous. However, to me, I cannot take that one thing that he said and try to apply racism and white nationalists to him and his character, because he said that stupid thing. Truth be told, a lot of black people do think that way, but he should have never said it. Ever. I agree. He should have never said it. But that doesn't mean that we think that he is a racist. That doesn't mean that he is like Trump, an outward, blatant racist who is trying to keep us divided. No, that's not what it means. Do white supremacists, do KKK leaders, do those people love Biden? Absolutely not. They love Trump. So, like I said, no, of course he should have never said that. But I cannot then say, oh my gosh, you're a racist. It just doesn't, there's no connection. It does not make logical sense to be able to say that. And so I did respond to this person though. I said, traitors and losers should not be glorified, which is precisely why statues exist, to glorify. Museums is a great place for history. Perhaps you've never heard of one. And so, because the thing that this guy was trying to say is, if you are forgiving Biden for his past and wanting to keep the Confederate flag, and you're saying that people can change, why do you care about statues? Because they were in the past. So again, Biden's viewpoint has changed about the Confederate flag. Statues, that's a whole other thing. And I think that, honestly, I don't even believe that so many of the people who want to keep the statues because of heritage, I don't think that they would even give a second thought to these statues if we didn't want them taken down. They just wouldn't. And you can look at that two different ways. They wouldn't give it a second thought because it doesn't demean their very existence. So why would they give it a second thought? The thing with statues are, everybody knows that they are to glorify, right? Everybody knows that. That's what a statue does. It glorifies some moment in time, some historical event, or even a present, person or action or thing. So why do we want statues? Why would Black people want statues up of slave owners, people who fought in the Confederacy to actually keep the slave status, to keep people enslaved, beaten, raped, whipped, murdered, hung? Why would we want that? Those statues were erected well after slavery was abolished, and they were erected for a reason, so that the Black people could feel intimidated, because they absolutely hated the fact that the abolishment of slavery happened. And so now with Jim Crow, they just wanted to make Black people feel intimidated, and that's why they would have these generals and slave owners, they would have these statues erected. Okay, furthermore, who do you think pays for those statues? We do. We the people, all of us, the citizens who pay taxes, that's who pays for statues. So why then do you think that Black people would want to pay for statues of people who killed, raped, pillaged, enslaved our ancestors? Why would we ever want to do that? It's like, do you guys ever think about anything but yourselves? Ever? White privilege exists, but you don't think about it because it is something that you don't have to think about. But I will say, I feel so happy at this day and age that there are actually so many people that are standing up. And you know why they're standing up? I think it's a couple of reasons, but one of the reasons is they are no longer ignorant to what is going on. They've seen it with their own eyes. And if you go back to my video that I made, I don't know, a few months ago, something about being woke or here's how you know if you're woke. And, I said that in my belief, people are in one of three categories. They're woke because they know that, white privilege is a real thing. They know that systemic racism is in existence. They know that police brutality happens, just all that stuff. That's how you know that you're woke. And then the second category was for people who are not necessarily racist. However, they're just ignorant to what we're saying. So you hear Black people talking about certain discrimination that goes on and certain systemic racism that goes on, but you've never really seen it, right? You never really witnessed it. So it's really hard for you to believe, after all, we had a Black president, how in the world could this still be in existence? And so with George Floyd, finally, there was something I think that happened that finally clicked in a lot of people's, and I think it was already like an ongoing thing. I do believe that so many more people were awakening to what was really going on. But then with the George Floyd incident, that really it was the catalyst for what we see now and what we see today with so many white people on protesting shoulder to shoulder with Black people for systemic racism. Number three, the category is you're in a coma and you're racist, and so you'll never be woke. And I've gotten two response tweets that basically say, let me just read it. Let me get this straight. This was the past, but now okay, because people change. Let that sink in as you're blaming today's people for the sins of their ancestors. And that's not the first person that's not the first white person that has tweeted me that somehow Black people are blaming white people of today for their ancestors' actions. And I've responded to both of them. I said, so first of all, I said, does your fabrication of reality help you sleep at night? Pray tell, how do we blame white people today for the sins of their ancestors? And I've asked two people, one a woman according to their profile, one a man according to his profile. And I have not gotten an answer back. I would like to know where, I guess, that mentality is coming from. Maybe as a white person, you may know, I don't know, comment below. Why do you think that we are blaming white people today for their ancestors' atrocities? I don't get that. I don't know why they say it, because it's not what's happening. So yeah, that'd be interesting to know, because they have not responded to me. But my point is, yes, of course, there's a difference between sexual assault and then, Biden as a representative of the United States talking about the Confederate flag. Once again, I think it's disgusting, absolutely. And I think what Kamala Harris brought up in one of the debates, I think that's disgusting too. He spoke out and against about buses and busing for Black people. So yeah, all of that is, do you guys even, here's what blows my mind. This is the disgusting part. Black people have to vote on who is the least racist. It's ridiculous that this is even going on. So really, there's so many people who have done racist crap in the past, who wear blackface in the past, and who have and that is our vote. Who's the least racist? Are you, imagine if that was your vote. Who's the least racist? And then people are trying to throw crap in our face even more. Hey, Biden's racist. This is why he's racist. And it's like, no, Trump has been blatantly racist as president for the last 4 years. But just imagine that. That is what our choice is. It's like, who's least racist? It's disgusting. And then again, people are just tweeting about there being no proof for the whole Russiagate. If you really believe that there's no proof for that, you have to be getting your one and only source of news from Fox, because Fox says that. I don't know any other news source who says that there was no proof. We have intel that says that there's proof. Our own intel agencies say that yes, this happened. And because Trump says otherwise and Fox parrots what Trump is saying and vice versa, you guys automatically believe it. I don't understand that. I really don't. And then, when we get down to, when we start saying actual facts, I have noticed this so much. Trump supporters block you so easily. Like, when you're throwing facts at them and you're making them look like a fool, I guess, they instantly block you. It is crazy because they don't want to hear the truth. They don't want to hear facts, and they don't know what to say. And so they block you. And I can speak to this. I can say this because I have been blocked so many times. I am not somebody who reverts to ad hominem attacks. I go off of facts and I just state facts. And people don't like that. And I get blocked all the time from Trump supporters. Like, for instance, I can't read his responses because I'm obviously blocked, but I can know what he was saying based off of my responses. So first somebody else said, how do you know that he's a billionaire? And this person was talking to a Trump supporter. How do you know that Trump is a billionaire? And so he responds and says something about why he knows and why he believes that Trump is a billionaire. And at this point, I chime in. This is all on the same tweet. It's all on the initial tweet that you guys saw about man-child. So then I chime in and I say, wrong. 45's net worth, liquidable assets versus financial obligations would prove him to, in fact, be drowning in debt. At best, would disprove billionaire status. You do know that banks in the USA stopped lending him money, which is why he got in bed with Russian oligarchs in the first place. So then, it is blocked, but I remember what he said. He said, yeah, Trump seems very, very poor to me, sarcastically. He's like, oh, please, what are you talking about? He's rich. He's a billionaire. Oh, he seems so poor. And so I wrote, I'm sorry, does Wall Street seem very, very poor to you? Same concept. I encourage you to learn about it. And if you guys don't know, Wall Street, their riches are on paper, essentially. That is how we got into the housing crisis that we did of 2008. And so, they just inflate things on paper, but it's not literal money. You can't liquidate it to what it's saying on paper. It's just like borrowed against other things. That's why the housing market crash happened under a Republican. So, I'm sorry, does Wall Street seem very, very poor to you? Same concept, you should learn about it. And this is the last thing that he said to me, and then I responded one more time. After that, they blocked me. But he said that I was deflecting. Oh, all you can do is deflect. And because I pointed out about Wall Street and Trump, same concept. That's really all I remember, is that he said that I was deflecting. So I wrote, I know being pointed to comparable facts that have been proven by application in historical events feels like deflection to you, but I assure you Wall Street's riches on paper versus real life is very relatable to lying, not actually a billionaire, 45's financial portfolio. That's what got me blocked. So anyway, my point is, it's not, I don't do name calling. People block me because I write about facts, I guess. It just seems to me like a lot of Trump supporters, it's really hard for them to have a critical thinking moment and an intellectual back and forth conversation about real issues. So anyway, you guys, like I said, in the beginning of this, I didn't know if it was going to be a rant or what, but yeah, it looks like it turned into a rant. Yeah, sometimes you just have to rant about it. And that's what I felt like I had to do today. So yeah, I think the biggest thing is if you are somebody who watches Fox News and that's your only source of news, I just encourage you to, open the possibility to watch other sources of news, because I'll tell you, because I watch both, because I have to watch Fox because I really need to know what their narrative is and the kind of things that they speak about. I highly dislike watching Fox, and it makes me cringe. But I've still got to know what they're saying on the other side. It's a good way to be. It helps you to balance out. And so if you are somebody who only watches Fox, I just encourage you to watch to get your news from other sources other than Fox. It doesn't matter what it is, just something other than Fox, because it could really open your mind, right, to things. I'm not saying that I am right all the time. Absolutely not. Of course I'm wrong. Of course I've been wrong. Of course I've even, I've admitted my wrong, even, on Twitter, if somebody comes and corrects me and whatnot, and I admit it. But that's another thing. I just had a conversation with a woman. We went back and forth about Trump, whether he was impeached or not. And she was so set in her way of, no, Trump was not impeached because he was acquitted and he didn't get removed, so he wasn't impeached. And we just went back and forth about it. And I think finally, I was able to get to her, because I finally said, can somebody please help me explain to this woman that Trump was in fact impeached? And so finally, somebody said, well, the same thing happened to Bill Clinton, right? And I said, yes, absolutely. Thank you. Thank you so much for paying attention. I already knew that, but I really just didn't want to. I wasn't going to throw Bill Clinton under the bus to get my point across, my factual point across, that Trump was impeached. So somebody brought it up. So I finally went with it once somebody brought it up. So I think that is what finally got her to realize it. Perhaps I'm not sure, because at one point she gave me she posted a Wikipedia thing that only talked about how Trump was acquitted, didn't talk about the fact that he was impeached. I don't know. It's just so crazy, and it's mind-numbing, mind-boggling to me to see that, like, a lot of these people really believe 100%. As much conviction as I have in my views and my points, and the fact that I know that systemic racism exists. I know because I've experienced it. My family has experienced it. Obviously, so many people have experienced it, because it wouldn't be as big of a deal if it hadn't been experienced and if it isn't true. And so it's just crazy to me, though, that the same conviction that I have in my beliefs is obviously the same conviction that these people have too. And that's just a profound thing. Like, how can we have such hardcore convictions on such opposite ends of the spectrum? That's what's so profound and mind-numbing to me as well. I just think we all need to open our eyes, open our minds to what is really going on, because there is one thing that I believe, hands down. I think that the government, corporations, who run the government, essentially, I think that they are the ones who don't want white and black people to unite. Because when we unite, that means that we are waking up to their greed and to the things that they are doing to us. That's what needs to happen, you guys. Like, white and black, and that is what is happening, which is really awesome. And things are actually happening, despite what people say about protests and they don't work, this, that, and the other. Yes, they do work. There's been so many changes already. Not nearly enough, but so many. And they absolutely work. Protesting works. But that's another thing that I encourage you guys is corporations and government, I believe that they are basically one. These rich corporations lobby for their own laws, for their own, plants, or the people who they want, because those are the people who's going to do the things for them. Why wouldn't they? These politicians, they are looking out for their family. As much as you look out for your family, that's what they're doing. They're just doing it in a dirty way and at the expense of the American people. But they are looking out for their family. That's why they get to go get these, $1 million jobs after they leave office, because they are submitting to the lobbyists, the corporations, to the things that they want, to the laws that they want passed. They're submitting to that, and then they get these multi-million dollar jobs offers once they leave office. And so I just really wish that everybody would wake up to that fact that not all politicians are there to, in fact, make America great. They're there for their own selves, for their own enrichment, and for their own reasons. And Donald Trump, number one, he absolutely is not in office for you. He is in office for himself and for his family. And it's mind-numbing that people don't see that, because it's the truth. I just don't understand how people don't see that. He can't care about other people because he's a sociopath. He just is. How do you guys not see that? How do you not see that he doesn't care about people? He only cares about himself. You guys, he called testing of COVID a catch-22, or a two-edged sword. How is COVID testing for the American people a two-edged sword? Absolutely not. He called it a two-edged sword because it makes him look bad when more cases come up due to testing. So if he can openly say it's a two-edged sword, well, no, it's not. Not for the rest of us, it's not. It can only help us. So, you know, there's no way that anybody would ever be able to get through to a racist white person, a true, you know, racist person. None of this logic, none of this dialogue, nothing would work. And that's fine, because I'm just grateful that the majority of white America is not racist and not like them. So I'm speaking to the people who are not racist, and you know who you are. I know you know who you are. That's who I'm speaking to. You know, you're not racist, but today I don't know, because I used to be able to say that, you know, not all Trump supporters are racist, but all racists are Trump supporters. I can't say that anymore, because clearly Trump is like an outward racist. And so if you support him today, you have to be a racist. That's just that's my belief, and that's my thought. Anyway, so yeah, I've been rambling on. So yeah, that's all. I just wanted to talk about things that are going on and the state of our country, and just get certain things off of my chest. And so I have done that. I thank you guys for watching, and yeah, you comment below. I'm sure people are gonna have something to say. Comment below. I would love to have dialogue. I don't mind that. I don't mind dialogue, intellectual, back and forth, you know, dialogue. But once, you know, name calling and personal attacks, that'll get you blocked. I don't do that, but I will do dialogue. So other than that, yeah, hit the like button and subscribe to my channel, because on Wednesdays it's Get Woke Wednesday, but eventually we'll be going back to kind of the other things like personal development, self-help, things like that. And then Fridays is Get Fierce Fridays, and that's for the outer beauty, makeup, fashion, things like that. Okay, you guys, I will see you in my next video. Bye.